Hello everyone, my name is Cameron Gray. For the purpose of this presentation, I chose to use Aptena Studio 3. It is a professional open source development tool for the open web. It supports the latest browser technology specifications such as HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, Ruby, Rails, and Python. It is based on Eclipse and available on Windows, Macs, Linux, or as a plugin for Eclipse. Today I'm going to be showing everyone how to insert an image into Aptena Studio 3. But first off, I would like to show you guys what this little easy code here creates. So as you can see, this is a very basic web page. It has a title, a paragraph format, an ordered list, an unordered list, and I messed around with the table a little bit and included some border styling just to kind of mess around with it. This is pretty much the very base level of any given web page, and there's really nothing that impressive about this thus far. So now that you have seen the web page so far, I'm going to show you how to insert an image into this web page. So we'll start off just by minimizing that to get it out of the way. So when you create a project in Aptena Studio, it creates a folder for your websites or projects. So by default, the place where it creates the workspace is in My Documents, and I don't really see a point in changing that unless you're very picky about where your folders go. It'll create a new folder for every project you create, and it's actually very easy just to follow that format to keep everything organized. So I'll show you guys where that is located really quick. Just Aptena Studio 3 in My Documents. When I open it, my project's called Test Page. I only have one page called the Index, and there it is. Exciting stuff. So in this example, I only have one project folder, and you want to save your images to the same folder as your project. So the next step would be finding an image. In this case, I just went to Google Images and typed in Aptena Studio 3, and I just decided to use one of their icons for the sake of simplicity. I'm sure that many of you already are very aware of how to save an image to a folder, but we'll walk through it here just in case. So you right-click, Save Image As. It'll try and save by default to your Downloads folder. That's obviously not the folder that we need. Navigate back to your Documents. Find your Aptena Studio 3 workplace, your project file, and then you're going to want to save your picture as a JPEG or a GIF into the same folder as your project. To create some space between the table and the image on my website, I can't simply just hit enter over and over and over again, because when creating a web page, it doesn't matter how often you hit enter, it doesn't recognize that as a space. In this case, I can use the BR tag, which works like a line break and is just as effective. I can insert this right below the table. And what that essentially does, we'll just put a blank line in between the table and the image, just so they kind of stand alone by themselves more clearly. So now comes the exciting part of actually inserting the image. To do so, we will start off with a bracket, type in IMG for image, SRC for source, an equal sign, and quotation marks. Due to Aptena Studio 3 being relatively automated, if you saved your picture into your project folder like you did earlier, it will recommend the picture right here for you to select, which is much easier than having to navigate somewhere and insert it manually. Just kind of a nice feature of Aptena Studio. So you just double click on that, add your end bracket, and that's how you insert an image into the code. So after we have the image code inserted into our code, we should be able to immediately see the change reflected on our website after saving this. So just do a Control S for a save. This was already saved, so I was not prompted to save it. Here's the website with no picture. If we refresh it quick, as you can see, the picture has been inserted. But this picture looks like crap, so we're going to mess the dimensions a little bit to try and make it fit in more perfectly with the website. One thing to keep in mind is that HTML maintains an aspect ratio, so if you change the width, it will automatically change the height as well. This actually makes it incredibly easy to resize pictures in your HTML code. For example, I'm going to change the width of this picture to 200, and we'll save that. Pull up the web page here, refresh it, and you can see how much that had an impact on that picture. Now if we wanted to add a border to the picture, you probably could figure out how to do that by now. It's very easy. You just type in border equals quotation marks, and I'm going to go with 3 just so it stands out a little more. Save it, Open up your website, refresh it, and as you can see there's a nice large border on the picture now. And that's more or less all you need to know about inserting an image into an HTML document. I would like to say that using a cascading style sheet would be a much more effective method of manipulating any of the fonts or headings or images in this, as it gives you a lot more control. This program doesn't really give you the option to edit text colors and sizes in an effective manner, and using a cascading style sheet just gives you the power to pretty much make it look however you would like to. So this has been a tutorial on how to insert an image into an HTML document using Aptena Studio 3. Hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for listening.